Hey guys, welcome to Cooking with Matt Lane. I'm your host, Matt Lane. Today we're going to be making a shepherd's pie. So you usually have most of these ingredients at home already. We're going to get an onion, we're going to have a pound of ground beef, we're going to get some potatoes. I just chose white potatoes for this. We're going to use, I chose to use frozen mixed vegetables instead of having canned vegetables, or you could use obviously fresh vegetables, but just to save time and just for easeability, this is much better than prepping and cutting your vegetables yourself or making corn and decobbing it yourself. I don't know how you say that, but decobbing it, shuck it, it's not shucking it, but you know, cutting the corn off of the cob, either way. Okay, so the other thing we're going to need is, you don't necessarily need this, but it just gives your meat an extra bit of flavor. This is a Clubhouse shepherd's pie mix. You just kind of throw this in with your ground beef as you're cooking. Other things you might need are going to include some garlic, a bit of milk, some butter, and I think that's it. The first thing you want to do is throw on a pot of water to boil. This is going to be for your potatoes to cook. And it'll be a bit of time before that comes to a boil, so in the meantime, we can work on prepping some vegetables. Okay, great. Once you've got your potatoes all nicely peeled, you want to just give them a little rinse. You can throw them in a colander and just give them a rinse off. They should already be clean theoretically because you've peeled the skin from them, but we're just going to give them another little rinse off just in case to get rid of any excess. That's good enough. Next, what you want to do is you want to make sure you're cutting your potatoes to approximately the same size, because then that way when you boil them they'll be cooking at about the same amount of time. So it doesn't really matter how big you cut your pieces as long as they are roughly around the same size. I'm doing about 1-inch cubes. That's usually good. Once you've got all your potatoes cut up, you can just go ahead and throw them in your boiling water that you've put on earlier. Hopefully by now it is boiling, at least. So while your potatoes are cooking, the next thing you want to be doing is the ground beef. So for your ground beef, you can always just kind of throw the ground beef in on its own and be boring. But like I said, we're going to be using the Clubhouse Shepherd's Pie Mix today. It is a little bit of extra flavor, and again, on top of that, we're also going to be putting in some chopped up onion and some minced garlic. You can go ahead and just cut your onion open. I'm probably going to use this whole thing. Why not? Because it's a small onion. Good food practice is to always compost your food scraps. We're not trying to throw everything in the garbage here. Okay, so what I like doing for my cut onion is I'll just cut them lengthwise, about half a centimeter thick, like so, keeping them in place. It's very important. Keep it in place, because next step is we're going to take our knife and cut it this way. You can just throw that in your pan. And the same for your other half. Well, like I said, I'd also like to add a few cloves of garlic to this recipe, just because everybody loves garlic. Everybody loves garlic. Come on, it's just, like, seriously. So the way that I like to peel my garlic cloves is, first I'll cut a hard piece off of the end, right here. Just that annoying stub piece. You can get rid of that, throw it out. Take your knife and just crush it like that. The clove should easily just kind of fall out from its peeling. Again, give it a little smack. You don't need to smack it. You can just put some pressure on it. It works the same. And again, we'll clear off our workstation as we go. It's very important to have a clean workstation. It's good to have your kitchen clean before you start cooking, and if you're able to clean as you're cooking, then that's even better. So I'm just going to mince up these garlic cloves because I don't need to crush them, and they will cook around. So mince, dice, not really mince, but dice it up. Looks good enough. It's nice and small. It's good enough to me. Just throw it in your pan again. Lastly, what we're going to add to our pan is some extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil. This will just get everything cooking nicely. Just put in a tablespoon, and we'll throw this mixture on our stove to cook. It's always nice to get a good temperature to your pan before you add your ingredients in. I kind of went backwards today. I kind of just threw everything in for demonstration's sake, and now I'm bringing my pan up to temperature. Okay, so once your onions and garlic are finally cooked, we can throw in our ground beef. Like I said, I'm just getting a pound of ground beef that I got. It doesn't really matter if it's lean or fatty or whatever. Really, you don't really want a fatty ground beef, actually. That's completely wrong. Unless you plan on actually straining it out and putting it into your gravy. But otherwise, we're just going to mix it in with our onions and garlic and let that cook all the way through. As I've added this ground beef in and I started mixing it up, I'm kind of realizing that I was supposed to have 2 pounds of ground beef. Okay, so go for 2 pounds of ground beef. Okay, so looking over at our potatoes now, just try and take a fork, grab one of your pieces and see how easily it cuts through them. If it pierces it pretty easily, then you know you're good. These ones seems good. We will take them off. Now that my mashed potatoes are all cooked and strained, I've just added in a bit of salt, pepper, a bit of butter, and a bit of milk. And that's all you need to do for your mashed potatoes. So the easiest way to add your seasoning once your beef's all cooked up is basically the obvious. Just throw it in the pan. It says to add a 3/4 cups of water to it just so that it can absorb into your meat. So I'm just going to throw it in the pan. I'm going to grab a measuring cup and measure out 3/4 cups. So here we have 3/4 cups of water. Just add that into your frying pan as well. At the same time, I'm going to take our frozen vegetables. I'm going to throw that in there as well. I'm using about a cup. If you want your shepherd's pie to be a little bit more meaty, you can just throw in less. If you want some more vegetables, obviously just throw in some more. There's no real rules to this. And again, I'm just giving it a mix and then letting it sit for a little while as that simmers down. We want the sauce to simmer down, those 3/4 cups of water we added with our shepherd's pie mix, just so it has a nice thick consistency. Let that sit for a bit. One of the last things you'll need is a nice casserole dish, preferably one that can go in the oven if you want to brown the top of your mashed potatoes. If you don't, it's not necessary whatsoever. You can just throw it all together and eat it as is. Okay, we're pretty much done now. We've got all our beef cooked up with our, what is it called, shepherd's pie mix, and we've got all our carrots and peas and beans and corn in there. All we're gonna do is just throw it in our casserole pot. Casserole dish. Next we take our mashed potatoes that we had prepared earlier. Just throw them on top. How fat, how fat. Again, perfect amounts. Some people, if you're all pro cook, you can like do some kind of a stupid pattern. Again, I'm not too worried. I'm just gonna spread it out nicely. Last thing you want to do is bake it in the oven for a little while, just to brown the top. Unless you're too lazy to do that, you don't have to do it. You can just leave it as is, and it's delicious to just eat as is. Yeah, sure. That's Matt Lane's shepherd's pie. I hope it was as easy as it looks, or as I hope it is as easy for you as it was for me, at least. So, good luck.